Okay, so you're in foreclosure or pre-foreclosure on your property, and you're just trying to figure out what your options are as far as, maybe getting the house sold. And I'm going to share with you some stuff that I think is very valuable. And, keep in mind, this video isn't for entertainment purposes. It is a value-packed video, though. It is something that when you walk away after watching this video, you'll have some things to think about, some real decisions to make, because I'm going to share with you some stuff that just no other people are talking about when it comes to selling a property that's in a foreclosure or pre-foreclosure situation. So my name is Anthony Nitz, and I've been helping people buy and sell real estate for over 25 years. I've been buying and selling my own real estate for 35 plus years. And so, I understand. I will admit, and I don't admit this often, but there was at one point in time when we were in the pre-foreclosure stage and we were afraid we were going to lose our house. We got lucky. We were blessed that we were able to pull out of it at the last minute. But we know that there's a lot of people that it isn't the case, right? And so in my years of working with people in your situation, I've always thought, gosh, there's got to be a better way to get a home sold in foreclosure. And why would somebody want to sell a house that's in foreclosure instead of just letting it go into foreclosure? And I'm going to share with you some things that's so important that you need to know about this process. And the last thing you want to do, the very last thing you want to do, is let the house get foreclosed on. I'm going to tell you why. Because there's two purposes that you want to try to accomplish, two goals that you want to try to accomplish by selling the house. And first of all, before I get into it, I just want to say, look, again, because I've been there, I know, I understand, and I feel for you. I empathize with you. Whatever the reason is, doesn't matter. That's not for me to judge. You're in a difficult situation, and you can either hide from it, pretend it's not happening, and find yourself in a worse situation, or you can do like you're doing right now, kind of start hitting it head on and go, okay, look, I know this is going to be a thing. Let's just, let's do the best we can with it and move forward. And so our two goals that we want to accomplish is, number one is the protection of the equity of your property, and number two is to maintain good credit. I'll get into both of those. Let's talk about the protection of the equity of the property. So, we know in California during the pandemic, prices were kind of, low at the beginning of the pandemic, but then since the pandemic, they've gone up, right? And so a lot of people, even if you only bought just a few years ago, you've got some equity in that property. Okay, here, let me give you an example. So I'm just going to kind of make this up as we go, if you don't mind. But let's say you've got a property that's worth, let's call it $750, because that's kind of on the low middle range there, I guess, just for easy understanding. But let's say you've got a property that's worth $750, but you owe, maybe it's only $600, and the reason is because, well, you've paid down some over the years, but also you've had this equity gain over the last several years, right? So you've got $150,000 worth of equity. Well, so if you let that property go, you probably heard this before, that any proceeds that are left over after the recovery of the foreclosure are legally have to go back to you, right? So in your mind, you might go, well, there's $150,000 of equity. I just let them take it back. When they take it back and then they sell it for $750, then they have to send me that $150,000, right? But that is not the case at all, because here's what a bank's goal is. The bank's their only concern is to recover the money that's due to them. Okay, great. They're owed $600,000. So there is entirely the possibility that they could just sell it for $600,000. They don't care about you. They don't care about if you get any equity. Okay, but let's say that would be ridiculous. It's a $750,000 property, and they sell it for $600,000. No, nobody would do that. Okay, that's fine. But what they also don't tell you is the costs of the foreclosure. Okay, so let's say the cost of the foreclosure, and we're talking a completed foreclosure, and this is a rough number. There's numbers all over the scale, but this is about what I hear most common, is the cost of foreclosure is about $75,000. That's the cost that the bank claims that they incur throughout that entire process, all the way from the beginning, from the very first time that you missed that first payment, all the documents and filings and the staff now that they have to have on top of it, and the legal and all the stuff that they've got to do to get to that point where they can actually take the property back from you, costs about $75,000. Okay, so now you owe $600. Well, add $75,000 onto that, so that's $725,000. I'm sorry, $675,000, right? So $675,000. Well, again, their goal is not to sell it for the maximum price. All they want is what's due to them, which is now $675,000. Oh, but wait a minute, you've got payments that you hadn't made for however long. Well, you got to add that to it as well too. So now the $150,000 in equity, poof, goes away. Okay, and you end up getting nothing out of it. But now let's paint this scenario. You say you owe $600,000. Let's say that you owe $25,000 in back payments. Okay, so now you owe $625,000. With our process that we do, what we do is we'll take your property, and unlike hiring an agent who sticks a sign in the yard and then you wait weeks and months, hopefully you get the right offer. You got people walking in and out of your house all day long, talking about your bad decorating decisions, or, how clean or not clean the house is, or, just all the things that are wrong with it, right? Because that's all they ever do. They come at the weirdest times. There's a lockbox on your door. All of your neighbors are now in your business. Hey, why are you moving? What's going on? What happened? Why, gosh, you're our favorite neighbors. Why are you leaving, right? And then you got to tell them the stories or make up something that, because it's none of their business, right? So there's that scenario. And then when you do get an offer, you've got all those commissions and all those fees, and then there's going to be repair costs, and then you got to pay for all your moving and all that stuff, right? So again, that all gets eaten up there. The other option is a lot of people in your situation will call one of those quick cash ads, right? They'll say, hey, we'll give you cash in 24 hours, okay? Sounds good, but statistically we know most people don't take those because they're really low ball offers. That's really what they are. They're coming from investors that come in and they buy low, they sell high. That's their job. That's what they do. And so then it's discouraging. You're going, oh man, we can't even, they might offer you $5,000 or $10,000 for you to move. But wait, where's your $150,000 in equity? They're taking that and they're putting it in their pocket. And the reason that they're doing that is because they know, or they at least perceive you as being desperate. And the only way you're going to get out of this is if you just hand the keys over to us. We'll give you a little bit of gas money and some moving money, but get out. Okay? And that's not right, because the value of the house is the value of the house, regardless of whatever your situation is. And so instead of doing that, we've taken kind of the best of both worlds, the best of what agents have to offer, which is distribution, and somebody to look over your shoulder and make sure you're doing things the right way, you're not getting taken advantage of, but also bringing the quick cash offer scenario into play, and we kind of merged it together. So if you were to call us and you say, hey, Anthony, you know what? Yeah, okay, we need to sell our house. I don't need my neighbors up in my business. I don't want to go through the hassle of having a sign in the yard and a lockbox on the door and strangers walking through the house as a constant reminder, the fact that now we're losing our house, right? Can you help us? Then what we're going to do is we're going to put it in front of our pool of buyers, is many, many hundreds and sometimes thousands of real cash buyers who are saying, you know what, look, we're eager, we're excited, we want to buy your property, okay? But because of the way that we do it, when we put it in front of them, they now start competing against each other. And what happens when people start competing against each other? Well, guess what? The prices go up. And in the end, what ends up happening is we know that the very end price, the last price, we know is the very best price you're going to get anyways, because that's where it stopped. But it didn't stop down here. It stopped up here after everybody was competing against each other, right? So our goal is to get you the best price, put as much of that money back into your pocket as we can so that you can move on to the next phase of your life. And again, there's no commissions, there's no fees, there's no closing costs, there's no repairs that need to be done, there's no clean out. You take your stuff that you want, you go, you leave everything else. That's not a problem. And we can even arrange a $10,000 cash advance up front before escrow closes so that you can get packed and moving on your way even before escrow closes, right? There are buyers, they can close in as quick as 10 days, but if you need time, you have up to 60 days. That's not a problem. So you want to take advantage of this, right? But then what this also does, by getting your home sold, puts more of your money back into your pockets. Your money puts it back into your pocket. It also helps protect and maintain your credit. So I want you to think about this. Right now, maybe you've got some 90-day lates. Maybe you even have the notice of default filed, or you have a notice of trustee sale filed, right? Those are pretty heavy things to be filed on your credit. However, when the property gets sold and the balance gets paid off, guess what? The lender marks it as paid. That loan was paid. So when somebody's looking at it and they go, oh, shoot, oh, they had a rough time. Okay, but they did the smart thing. They sold the property or won the lottery, one of the two, and paid off the loan. Okay, great. So they're probably still pretty good. And then what that allows your credit to do is start quickly rebuilding. However, if you just walk away from the property, then your credit is going to have that foreclosure for at least 10 years. It's going to show up on there. And that could affect your ability to, get additional credit, to get another loan, to buy a house. It could affect a job application because, a lot of companies are doing credit checks on their employees now. So I'm telling you that this is the best scenario, the best option for you because it's quick, it's discreet, it gets you the best price that you can get, and maintains your credit, and maintains and gets the loan paid off so that you can put that extra money in your pocket, right? And almost even more importantly, there's no obligation. There's no obligation to you whatsoever. You call me and say, Anthony, come do this. I say, great. I come over. We take some pictures. We put it out there. If it works, it works. If we get a price that you're comfortable with, you take it. If you're not comfortable with the prices that we get, you don't take it. And everybody walks away as friends and nobody's feelings are hurt. And because it's done in such a quick time frame, so fast, you will know, did it work? Did we get the offer that we need or want? Right? And then if it doesn't, well, then you go, great, okay, fine. Now we'll go get an agent. We'll put a sign in the yard. We'll do all that stuff, right? And try to get a higher price. So there's no risk to you. The only risk of to you for this is not doing it. You're risking irreparably damaging your credit. You're risking losing every penny of your equity. So the only thing you need to do right now is to pick up the phone, call me, or text me. I don't care what day or time of day it is. Call or text. Look, if it's some weird hour or something like that, I won't answer. Don't worry about it. But call and text, and I will get back to you as quickly as possible so we can get this process started for you. Again, no cost, no fees to you, none whatsoever. And if it works for you and you're happy, great. And if it doesn't, then you walk away. But you got to call me right now, while you're watching this video. So let us help eliminate the stress of just putting your property out there and worrying about, are you going to get a good, reasonable offer, or is it going to actually go into foreclosure? Give us a call. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.